Welcome back. This is the final, not final episode of the Data Quadrant arc, but the penultimate episode. This basically ties up the most of the Data Quadrant test stuff arc without starting the next season. But you need to have a shot with Commander Burgess.
Hello. Would you have time to look into something for me?
What's left behind?
Admiral Tuvok and Captain Kim are leading the analysis of the artifact you found on Vardwa Prime. I knew you'd want to be there for the great reveal, so I've arranged for you and your crew to be part of the team. Rendezvous with Voyager to get started.
Indeed. We've got to visit them in the North Shadan system. Some experience points and experience expertise there, and the usual stuff. And we get the electric kit module, where you may have heard them before, but this is more or less our first, official first meeting, because the episodes we've seen them before supposed to happen a lot later. Anyway, let's get going.
Hello. Would you...
We've arrived in the North Shadan system. Voyager sends Admiral Tuvok's regards and says we're ready for you to move over and get in bit transport range. And the quiet space. But welcome to the USS Voyager again. Yeah, let's beam over, and I think this time we need to do a term. Transport complete. Our Tuvok has arranged to meet us in the transport room. We should speak to you about the device we recovered from Gal. Instead, I'll speak to Tuvok in front of us. As you can see here, we're in the transport room.
Welcome back to Voyager. We were about to begin studying the device you recovered from Gal's communication center. Since you have spearheaded much of our efforts here, I would like you to take the lead once again. Captain Kim and 7 of 9 are at your disposal. Talk with them if you need more help deciphering the device. When you finish your analysis, return to me for further orders. I will be here in the transporter room to see you off.
Mr. Admiral, I'll take a look at the device in engineering. And this? Oh gosh. I think they'll lift down. Engineering's this way, I think. And there we are. So, Harry Kim.
Glad you're here. We transported the device to engineering here so we could run all the scans and tests we could think of. The first thing we need to do is determine how it's communicating. We can't find any normal transmissions from it, but we're hoping you have some new ideas to bring to the table.
Agreed. Oh, let's do the analysis. Okay, this is a device from you must realize it must transmit a signal of some sort. None of the normal detection modes seem to give any sort of feedback. Decide to investigate some of the more exotic transmission forms. Let's try quantum radiation. Having some experience with time travel, you have hypothesized this device could be communicating with the future or the past. Scanning for device for quantum radiation, taking missions over telltale time manipulation comes up empty. It's obvious this device is not used to communicate through time. Let's try subspace fields. Vardwa self-proclaimed masters of the underspace. A form of subspace in the Delta Quadrant, so I hypothesize that the data device might be used to communicate directly into subspace. Your scans pick up a faint resonance. The device does appear to communicate with similar devices in subspace. Let's have a chat with Arakim. Alright.
The device communicates with subspace. We should have guessed that. Now comes the hard part. We need to access the device's memory core. The engineering team here on Voyager is good, and I've heard your team is top-notch. But it might take more time than we have for either team to make a full analysis. We should have both teams give you their opinions on the device. If we work together, hopefully we can make a breakthrough.
Agreed.
You'll need to set switches on the device until we get solid readings. We'll be able to tell if switches are in the correct position, but not which switches. Good luck.
I'll go set the switches. You tell me. You have to tell the teams what state this device is in. This is another one of those fiddle with it until it works right moment. So why don't we evaluate it as it stands now?
The engineers tell me there is only one switch in the correct orientation. Unfortunately, we can't determine which switch it is. Let me know when you think we have a better orientation, and they'll check again.
Okay, let's rework the switches. So we need one on the off and two on the off. So let's try 1, 2 on, 3 is off.
The engineers tell me there is only one switch in the correct orientation. Unfortunately, we can't determine which switch it is. Let me know when you think we have a better orientation, and they'll check again.
Okay, rework the switches. Let's swap 1, 3.
Sir, I've consulted with both the engineers here on Voyager and your chief engineer. I am seeing green across the board. All the switches are in the correct position, and we now have access to the primary memory core of the device. Unfortunately, we're only halfway there. Now we need to access the secondary memory core to get full access to the data we need.
I like this the secondary memory core. Let's see what the settings is at the moment.
The engineering teams tell me 2 of the switches are in the correct mode. Unfortunately, we don't know which 2 switches. Set them again and we'll redo our analysis.
Let's turn number 1 on.
Looks like you did it again. All the switches are in the correct position, and we now have full access to the memory core of the device. 7 of 9 should be of assistance in accessing the memory banks of that device. She's in astrometrics, attempting to get a fix on the location of who, or what, is receiving these transmissions.
Excellent, I'll go see 7 and 9. Let's... B button? Yeah. So, we're kind of doing the tour ourselves then. Right. Apologies for that, that was nothing to do with... Let's check 07.
We have access to the databanks of the device. Very efficient work. From the data we have received so far, we will be able to pinpoint the exact transmission coordinates. However, it is possible that doing so may alert whomever is on the other end that we have reverse-engineered their technology. There are 3 likely ways to get at the information. I suggest further analysis to determine the best course of action.
Okay. Okay, let's see what we got. Brute force encrypted or multivector. Analyze the ramifications of each method. Second time problem defenses. If you attempt the intrusion, you almost alert the reception of your actions. If you attempt to encrypt it, entry via the security codes will protocols will flip. And going for multi-vector will give you better than average chance of getting the information rotated on land. Let's try that. Multi-vector query. You attempt once you vector intrusion of the database, that seems to do that. No unusual activity is detected, and you found a location in real space where you connect to the substrates near the transportation sedan system. You have a location to the destination point. You should speak to Tuvok. Okay, and yeah, well, it was nice, pretty, and this might be a table lift. Yes, it is. And Tuvok and Doctor.
Fascinating. Excellent work. With this location, we may be able to finally reveal who gave the Vaadwaur their advanced technology, and why the neuroparasites appeared again, in this time and place. Commander Jirok of the Romulan Republic has requested to join you on this operation. Her own analysis of the device has shown that the Romulans have had some contact with the creators of this device, a race known as the Ilachi. She will meet you in subspace at the given coordinates.
Yep.
Finally, Voyager's emergency medical hologram, the Doctor, will be assigned to your crew. His knowledge of the Delta Quadrant races may prove invaluable. He's not much of a combatant, but should prove useful.
What's your dad, Mom? Okay, Doctor?
Hello again.
I look forward to our missions together, Admiral. Oh dear. Yeah. Come on. It's deactivated already. Let's beam. Let's beam up. We've successfully transitioned to subspace. The Lisette should be arriving any moment. Let's go. There's communication was going to a Ilachi outpost. It's still active, sir. I'm picking up several Ilachi ships in the area. Go to the alert and keep an eye on those Ilachi ships. Hey.
Greetings. This is Commander Jirok of the RRW Lisette. When we learned that the Ilachi were involved, I requested to shadow you on this mission.
Continue.
I know your experience with the Ilachi is limited. The Romulan Republic, however, has an extensive history with this race.
Indeed, the playable Romulan storyline features Ilachi heavily. So, who are the Ilachi?
The Tal Shiar used Ilachi to help invade Verinat, a colony made up of Romulan refugees seeking to make a new life for themselves. The two factions worked together to convince Romulan colonies to join the Tal Shiar. It was in spite of this that the Romulan Republic was forged. We fought off the Tal Shiar and eventually made a stand against the Ilachi at New Romulus. Many Romulans gave their lives in defense of our new homeworld. But that final defense seemed to quiet Ilachi attacks for quite some time, barring the occasional incursion from subspace.
Understood. I mean, we joined the Ilachi in the Ilachi fight ourselves in it quite a few episodes back.
Alright, we'll follow your lead here.
Indeed.
We're seeing 3 patrol groups. Recommend we eliminate them before we board the station.
So, and I can see one of them on our sensors at the moment, but not 2 of them. There's a third. That Spardrum is new. With it. One that has got left.
play well with others.
Indeed.
Another Alachi ship is here to defend the outpost.
This is a big one. And of course, bring out the sport craft. Ready to be moving? Yes, yes, we are. Into station. Let's bring the usual team. Right, team. Round to the outpost station there, and the doctor has offered to accompany the away team and offer his extensive knowledge of the Delta Quadrant. In addition, Commander Jack is taking away team from the Lucette student of part of this facility. So you want to speak to you before we begin? Commander Jarak?
I was thinking we should split up and cover as much of the facility as we can, unless you have a better idea.
Doctor, what's your take on the situation?
This is obviously an Alachi facility. What I know about them comes from the Romulan Republic's databases, but I should be able to learn more as we examine this location. The air here is suitable for the Alachi, which means that you may find breathing difficult. I, of course, do not have that problem. If you have an environmental suit, or even some sort of rebreather, you will be fine. If you don't, keep an eye out for something that could help filter out the toxins.
Now, we could be equipped with we need a rebreather or an EV suit in this area. Now, as you can see here, we've now been done for a second. But if you don't have one, equip what? If you have one, equip and activate it now. Otherwise, you may find something in the base to assist us. And this is probably the only time where I'm going to deliberately not pull out these EV suits I've already got. Well, if you were to pick up a holographic crewman, they would, such as the Doctor, but not just the Doctor, but any holographic crew person, they would be immune to it, and some other characters would be immune to poison damage. But yes, and here we are.
These are Solinate tables. I've read the Enterprise D's reports now.
Okay, let's scan this bed because this bed is very familiar.
These are definitely Solinate tables, which, if I'm correct, and I always am, is the same race you dealt with after using the Iconian Gateway on New Romulus. The Solinate kidnap victims through subspace for their brutal experiments. If they are somehow connected to the Alachi and the Vaadwaur, this is beginning to make more sense. If I had to guess, there must be a stasis room nearby. We should find it and rescue anyone in there who can still be saved.
Okay. Looks like Commander Durak's team's up to work on it instead. Nice. Here moving on. We're getting still because we've all of us have got done by a by the fact that our and we could always find somewhere to get healed. We're playing the dives more than anything else. Okay, move around.
It looks as if they are converting their captives into more Alachi. If my readings are correct, there are several individuals here who have only just begun the conversion process. We can save them if we beam them back to your ship.
Okay, let's get going. No, but not everything is already is not converted. These two are fully converted. And I think we've got buddies as well. Let's check this crate. And
Good. You found a breathing apparatus. That should take care of that nasty cough.
indeed, we now no longer will be stunned every time we try and every so often. So, and everyone collect one for each person, and everyone will feel a lot better. And if you see a lot of people, people and bridge officers, especially bridge officers, running around with masks like our team's currently got, then you know why. Oops. Oh, I forgot to activate mine. We quick to right. You got to activate them. These guys will, because it's date. So let's find some people to rescue. So we've got a Romulan.
We're transporting you to a Romulan ship in orbit. You're going to be fine.
And we carry on looking around, find people. Now we do know that this is the area.
Ah, a Hazari. Stay calm. We'll get you the medical attention you need.
Klingon warrior? That's not good.
This is no way for a proud Klingon warrior to go out. We'll patch him up immediately.
Indeed. So that's we can see. And it's Talaxian.
Transport this Talaxian directly to sickbay.
At least the doctor's got plenty of Talaxian experience. And it's Bentham.
You'll be back on duty before you know it. One to beam up.
A Kazon? I'm surprised they even bother with them.
A Kazon? Even the Borg won't assimilate a Kazon.
Indeed. Mr. Touré.
Everything will be fine, Mr. Touré. We'll beam you directly to sickbay. Well, the Solanae are definitely involved. I believe I have everything I need from this area. We need to keep moving if we hope to meet up with Commander Jirok.
Indeed. Let's continue.
The door is unlocked now. We should keep going.
Yeah. And let's go by that door. There it is. And there's stuff there. Well, stuff here. Back into that first area. Boom, and then indeed, that's looking a lot better. Hey, Commander Jirok.
This is odd. You sound like you're in a Solanae lab, but we're in some place that looks like a prison. In fact, I'd say that's exactly what it is. And they've just had a breakout. Whoever it was, they used our arrival as the distraction they needed to make their move. I'll keep looking for more information, but I hope the escapees are friendly.
Be careful, Commander.
A prison break? Maybe I should go back to the ship.
I think you might be well better here, because you'll probably want make it easier for them to get escape for us.
Neural parasites. This must be where the Vaadwaur were implanted with those mind-controlling bugs.
At least one handful of them.
Neural parasites. Just as I suspected. Did you know that several Starfleet officers were infected by these in the mid-2360s? The Enterprise logs from that era are fascinating reading, if you ever have a few dozen hours to spare.
I'll look at them later, Doctor. Please continue.
If Gaul and the infected Vaadwaur were communicating with this station, it stands to reason that this may be the facility where the bluegill implantation takes place. We should definitely investigate further. If we can find the implantation room, then I should be able to analyze their equipment and gather more information. I don't believe it. The empirical evidence is right in front of me, but I'm actually having difficulty processing this information.
What is it?
This tech, this whole facility, it's Iconian. There are variations on the norm, of course, because of the Solanae and Alachi influence, but I see distinct signs of their presence throughout the facility.
Iconians? Yeah, too?
The Iconians, as we know them, rarely reveal themselves. The only known interaction with an Iconian in modern history took place on Kronos, when... Wait, you were there! I don't need to explain that situation again. As I was saying, the Iconians don't like to act directly. They use servitor races, like the Alachi and the Solanae, to cause chaos in their name. And the neural parasites, they've bioengineered. Rather like the founders created the Jem'Hadar, but sophisticated enough to control another species, and with much less free will. The parasites are a weapon.
About the Vaadwaur, they were active before the Iconians revealed themselves.
When Voyager revived the Vaadwaur, Their technology was outdated compared to what other powers in the Delta Quadrant had at that time. Even the Kazon outdid them. But now, Vaadwaur technology is cutting edge. The only way they could have advanced so far, so fast, was by allying themselves with someone else. With the Iconians. The Vaadwaur got their tech upgrades from them, but they also got the neural parasites.
Continue.
The parasites gave the Vaadwaur power, but they gave the Iconians control. They were ultimately the ones pulling the strings. This entire war has been against an enemy we didn't even see.
That's the information we needed to find. We come on, Joker, get off the station. But first, let's go and find some new parasite stripe. Here we go. We're now in the new parasite area. Right. Wow, those look like... Well...
This is more like a factory than a laboratory.
Yeah, and I think I've seen these before, but I don't. That is actually from a deleted episode we've had not played. Was it deleted? It's technically another Alachi episode from the new Romulus line. So Romulus were public character line. And I have played most of those characters. Let's go on these implementation devices.
Some of this technology is ancient, but it's quite advanced.
Yeah. So... Look here.
These parasites aren't a natural species at all. They look engineered.
That's not good. That's not good. Look good. Now let's head back. Yeah, take quick readings of the latches. They show the same energy signatures as the parasite and Vaadwaur, but they're fluctuating. The latches seem to be fading in and out to be involved with it. We can beat them. We just have to pick the right moment. Tap the latch with blue effects. So, wait, what does that? Oh, that's what it's talking about. Yeah, that's it.
I think we're catching up with the escapees, and they might be from the Alpha Block. We found a dead Romulan prisoner. He was part of the breakout, but I don't know if he was part of the Republic or loyal to the Tal Shiar. Keep an eye out. The prisoners are headed in your direction.
Understood, we'll be ready for them.
Yeah, maybe we should avoid any potential contact with the prisoner? I think I've seen enough combat for today.
That might not be an option. That was good. Okay, let's move into here.
Humans! Always showing up when you're least expecting.
At least that is Steeler. We thought she was dead. Well,
More Alachi. I don't think the Iconians want me to leave.
yeah.
Their tenacity is almost admirable.
Looks like you could use a hand.
Um,
And now we have their leader's attention.
Come on. And this guy's huge. Oh. Can we take it down with a good team? Okay, we've now got this. Is not good. This is really tricky. Rock.
Seela! I should kill you where you stand. It would be justice for all the lives you've destroyed.
Down, down, Jurak.
And if you do, you'll never learn about the Iconians. I've been here for months. I've seen enough to know you need my help.
That could be very valuable information, Commander Jurak.
Fine, you interrogate her. I might get a little carried away. But she returns with me to the Lisette when you're finished here. Seela is a prisoner of the Romulan Republic. Your government can go through official channels if they want to talk to her.
Agreed. Could take custody of her once we're done.
You and this Seela person seem to have some history. I'll leave you to speak to her.
Oh. We're along with Seela. Okay. Last time I saw you, you're escaping your so-called home planet with your new home planet with after leaving Hakiv. He's dead, by the way.
Not so fast. You have the weapons, but I have the information. If you want to learn what I know, you'll need to keep those Romulan rebels under control. You've stumbled into something much greater than you're prepared to handle. I'm the best ally you have.
Talk, and now decide what happens to you.
I assume you already know where you are. Both the Alachi and the Solanae serve the Iconians. The Alachi are their warriors, and the Solanae are their scientists. They're the ones who created those creatures implanted into the Vaadwaur.
New parasites? Why didn't the Iconians use them here, but not on the Tashiya?
Hakiv joined the Iconians out of faith. He thought the Iconians would create an empire he could rule. That did not go as planned. This time the Iconians wanted to control their puppets. When the Vaudois asked for strength to defeat their enemies, the Iconians gave them the parasites. The Vaudois had strength, but also strings. Strings that have now been cut. I'm sure you had something to do with that.
Yes, alongside the alliance of the Roman Republic and the Klingon Empire.
All three of you working together? The world has changed in my absence. Or were the Vaudois that much of a threat to the Alpha Quadrant?
Actually, we're in the Dutch Quadrant now.
That explains some things. I'd love an escort back to the world at large, but I have a feeling you have some questions first.
I do have a few questions.
I'll answer what I can. You can believe what you want.
What was your relationship with the Iconians? Were you a prisoner or their ally?
How important is that, really? I worked with the Iconians because, at the time, I thought it was the best thing for my people. After we lost the homeworld, we were scattered, starving. A shadow of what we once were. What were we supposed to do? Beg the Federation? Or the Klingons for scraps? Pathetic. The so-called Romulan Republic has made their way, but they did it at the cost of Romulan dignity.
Is dignity more important than survival?
We are not refugees. We are Romulan. We needed a strong leader to bind us together again, and I knew I could be that leader. The Iconians were a means to an end. They gave us strength at a time when we were at our weakest. Had I known what Hakiv, what he and the Iconians did to our world, perhaps I would not have made the same decision.
The Republic is thriving and you were in prison. We made the better choice.
Dwelling on the past is meaningless. I am here, and so are you. Today, our goals are aligned. We both want to stop the Iconian advance. You need me.
Fine. I have nothing I want to talk about.
I'll answer what I can. You can believe what you want.
Do the Iconians have a weakness? Something we can exploit to help us defeat them?
Hubris. The Iconians think they are the rulers of the galaxy. They thought so 200,000 years ago, when they were driven off their homeworld by the fire of 1,000 races allied against them. They think so now, when they look at us and see us as children stumbling in the dark. They do not see our strength, our willingness to fight. Use their hubris against them, and the Iconians will fall.
Noted. I have nothing to talk about.
I'll answer what I can. You can believe what you want.
What's the Iconian master plan?
I honestly don't know. Why would they share their plans with a prisoner? That may make me less valuable in your eyes, but don't be fooled. I know more about the Iconians' operations than they realize.
Perhaps there's a different question you'll feel more comfortable in answering.
I'll answer what I can. You can believe what you want.
Where's the rest of your crew?
Ah, the crew. The Alachi took them one by one and turned them into those things. Revolting. If I had known that was what they were doing with the captives from the colonies, I would have...
Who's dwelling on the past?
Yes, you were asking about the crew. A handful of us were still alive when the station went on alert. We took a chance and made our escape. They died, nobly, as Romulans protecting their Empress. I will remember their sacrifice.
I think we're done here. Time to return to our ship.
Will I be taken into your custody, or will I be left to Tiaru's tender mercies?
We agreed in spirit of cooperation. Commander Drake will take custody. She's under strict orders to deliver it to Alliance Command. You will not be harmed.
Very well. It's not like I have a choice in the matter, do I?
Set 1 to beam up. We're finished here. The set Sealer's in the big of the set, although I think there are a lot of negotiations between the Republic and the Federation before we will know what will happen to her. Till then, we report our findings to Admiral Tuvok and Alliance Command. Yeah, let's into our ship.
Empress Sela in our brig. When she was taken by the Iconians last year, many of my people thought she would get away with her heinous crimes against the galaxy. With her in my brig, I am happy to know that is no longer a possibility. Of course, I understand that the Romulan Republic's claim on her is not unique. Her crimes are against all of the Alpha Quadrant. To that end, I will ensure that she be made available to all the Alliance leaders for interrogation and debriefing.
Okay.
Well, that wasn't exactly what I'd call a walk in the park. At least we know exactly how the Iconians were controlling the Vaadwaur. And you've certainly put a crimp in their plans. On the upside, as a photonic life form, I'm immune to any attempts at subversion by neural parasites. I'll see to the care of the captives we rescued. In the meantime, it sounds like you and the Romulan Republic Command have a lot to talk about. Sela certainly has a story to tell, but should we believe all of it? I'll put a bug in Admiral Janeway's ear about the situation. That was a joke, by the way. You're going to be busy. Don't overdo... Oh, who am I kidding? Command officers never take their doctor's advice. Just remember that you're not in this alone. Good luck. I suspect things are starting to get interesting.
So, it sent intelligence ships to come the outpost for more information. Clear to return to normal space on my command. Let's head back home.
Sela and the Iconians? That I did not expect. It's a lot to take in. And while I'm sure the former Empress has some interesting stories to tell, I know the Romulan Republic will want her to answer for her crimes against her people. There will be some tricky back-channel negotiations before this all shakes out. I'll keep you posted as much as I can.
And we pick up the Alachi subspace module, which is a nice universal module, which means that you don't have to be wherever you play can pick a player that use that.
Hello. Would you have time to look into something for me?
And that's more or less it for this episode. Next week will be the finale of the Delta Quadrant arc.